winner, meaning that the booty, as they called it, would go to whoever wins the war. So as these archers were standing on the Mount of Uhud, they could see the battle, because the mountain, as you'll see, it's not a big hill, but it's a mountain. You'll be able to go up it. They were standing there and they were looking, and they could see from what they saw, the Muslims were winning. And they saw they were collecting the booty, the spoils of war. And what did they see? The greed got to them and said, okay, the battle is won. Let's go and help collect before we miss out. So the archers did what? They left their post. And subhanAllah, one of the great generals in Islam that you know about at that time had not become Muslim. Khalid bin Walid. I'm sure everybody has heard that name. He's known as a great general in Islam, but he was a great fighter before then. And Khalid bin Walid, he said, oh, they left their post. And because of this, the Muslims were routed and they end up losing the Battle of Uhud. The Prophet ﷺ was injured in this battle, and people thought he was going to be killed, but at that time he was being rallied around by some of his companions. And when they saw that they were in deep trouble and Rasulullah was being accosted from all sides, it's odd because he called out, and he had someone who had a loud voice. He said, call out to rally the Muslims to come back. And he told them, call out to the Ansar, Ya Ansar, Ya Muhajirin, Ya Ahl al-Bayt, oh helpers, the people of Medina, oh Muhajirin, those who migrated, and oh family of the Prophet, come back. They rally around the Prophet. Now the interesting thing for us to remember is that in this battle, we'll see another place, a cemetery close to Uhud, we may see that there are 70 martyrs, shuhada, buried there. And these were the people killed in this battle. And in this battle, the shuhada, the majority of those shuhada were Ansar. As many as 65 were Ansar, and some small number were Muhajirin. Now, sometimes I ask myself why was that, but one of the reasons that we talked about earlier, the beloved city of the Prophet, is that the Muhajirin were in great numbers, and the Ansar were in great numbers, and the Muhajirin were in smaller numbers. So for this reason, this community was larger with those who are Ansars and smaller in Muhajirin. So fewer Muhajirin were killed during that time, and the 70 or so are buried right there. They're not buried at one of the most famous cemeteries. I don't know, we didn't have on our tour list, but they have another cemetery here in Medina that is very famous and old. But this cemetery near Uhud is 70, and it's because the martyrs in Islam, they are that this cemetery near Uhud is there because one of the rules of jihad is when the shuhada die, you bury them where they died, and you don't wash the bodies, you don't do any of these things that you do with a normal janazah. And this is why they are buried here near the foothills of Uhud. And it's so important for us to see this. And the one other thing I like to make us understand with this, when you say shuhada, when people say that you are a martyr in Islam, this was without a doubt people who were martyrs for Allah, because these Quraysh were coming to extinguish Islam. Their whole role is that they wanted to end the Prophet and they wanted to end Islam. See, so it's not like people fight normal wars, fighting over property or the country or all these other things. These were truly shuhada who were fighting to preserve Islam. So in ending, we should be very honored to go, and as they say, one of these scholars, I forget, he wrote a book, in the footsteps of the Prophet, that we, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are able to be in the footsteps of the Prophet, and we should be honored. So we go there, we make dua for the shuhada, that Allah will make things easy, because those they say are really shuhada, they are not really dead, they are taken and they are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, we are in a very blessed place. And as I said, the other place that we didn't have a chance was at Baki Cemetery. Is one of the burial places of many of the great Sahabas here in Medina. And lastly, one of the great Sahabas that are buried at Uhud Cemetery is Hamza. Hamza was, as we say, the uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he was even more than the uncle. He was also, in the Arab tradition, he was the brother of Rasulullah, because they took milk from the same mother who was milking them both, and that linked them to being brothers, as well as him being the uncle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was the brother of the Prophet's father. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannah and make everything easy for those in our ummah. Assalamu alaikum.